What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond the Bench podcast. And today, I'm going to be talking about March Madness. Welcome, Nick.
How about those St. John's, baby? Let's get into it. Oh my God. Oh my God, St. John's. It is the quintessential New York team. Quintessential. And they are in the Sweet 16 since 1997.
First time since 1999.
First time,
by the way.
Oh, 1999.
99.
Excuse me. But anyway, when we all watch March Madness, what are we really looking for? We're looking for a Cinderella story, an early exit, a little white boy hooper that ends your favorite team's dreams and drops 30. It is not even the Sweet 16 yet, and we have had all of that in March Madness. This isn't just basketball. It's March. Let's get into it. Christian.
Yo.
Is this one of the best March Madness tournaments in recent memory so far?
Best recent memory how? Cause like
amazing events.
No, like how far in recent memory?
Oh, that's actually a good question. I would say like 5 years.
It's one of the better ones compared to last. So here's
I know last year's was not that good.
Well, upset wise, last year was better.
Okay.
Game wise, I think this year is better. Like last year, all 4 number 1 seeds were in the Final Four last year, which almost never happens. Even the Elite 8, it was all the 1s, all the 2s, except for Texas Tech, who was a 3.
Which isn't really that.
But the upsets last year in the first round were there. Mm-hmm. In the West region, the 10, 11, and 12 seeds all won last year. And then, of course, everybody remembers McNeese beating Clemson.
Yep.
But then this year, you're not really having any of that. Like, VCU is technically seed-wise, VCU is an upset.
Yeah,
but everybody had VCU winning that game.
Yeah.
Arguably the biggest upset, even High Point. Like, listen, that was a bigger upset than VCU, but a lot of people were very, no pun intended, high on High Point. And
I agree. I think really the only true upset that's been happening this season is Texas right now.
Yeah, Texas.
Is on a Cinderella run. We'll get into that later, but they really have. Listen, they've beaten. Where are they on my Jesus bracket?
They beat some of the easier teams, I will say. Yeah. Gonzaga was probably the easiest 3 seed. BYU was probably the easiest 6
Which,
seed.
I'm not gonna lie, I had Gonzaga going to the Sweet 16, so I don't.
I think I had Gonzaga losing. I don't remember. I might have had them going to the Sweet 16, but that was only because of how weak their part of the bracket was. Yeah. So Texas is up. We'll talk about this more, but Texas is facing Purdue, who is not their first real challenge, but by far their biggest challenge.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the biggest upset so far has based on the caliber of teams, because again, Texas is an SEC team, so their record is going to be skewed because they play in a really hard conference.
Right.
Iowa, on the other hand, they do play in a really hard conference, but they play in a huge conference. Yeah. So their record's not going to be as skewed. And they took down the number 1 team in Texas's conference, so obviously they're good. They're the defending champions for a reason. Yeah.
I actually had them going to the final this year. I thought they were real shit this year.
I had them losing to Houston in the Elite 8 because I thought Houston was going to get their revenge for the finals last year.
Yeah.
Clearly that's not going to happen because Florida is out. Were you watching that game, Nick?
I watched
Sunday night?
The ending. I watched the ending. So really the part that mattered.
Florida, I don't remember what Florida's biggest lead was. Florida's biggest lead was 4 points, and it was at the beginning of the game.
4 points?
Their biggest lead was 4 points, and it was at 19-10 in the first half. That was 50 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
That was their biggest
of the entire game. It was 4 points.
Yes.
Yeah. I only watched the ending, so it neck and neck. Of the entire game.
It was not neck and neck because Iowa's biggest lead was 12 points.
Oh, Jesus.
And they kind of blew that lead. Florida outscored them by 1 point in the second half, but the Florida kept it so close that Iowa was able to pull away, and they hit a walk-off corner 3 with 4 seconds left, and Florida couldn't even get a shot off. I don't remember who it was that inbounded the ball, or not inbounded the ball, but tried to make that pass under the basket.
Oh, actually,
He tried to get too cute with it, and the guy that was under the basket, their center, I can't remember his name. Condon. Might have been Condon.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't ready for the pass because in that situation, you're not passing there.
Right.
And they couldn't even get a shot off to end the game. And Iowa is moving on to play Nebraska in the Sweet 16.
Which is crazy.
I also didn't think Nebraska was going to get that far. I understand they're a 4 seed. I thought they were a very weak 4 seed, and I thought Vanderbilt was going to take them down. Clearly, they did not.
Yeah.
You were watching that Vandy game, right?
I was watching that Vandy game. And so, here's the thing. Vandy missed that walk-off, right? We all saw it. We all know it happened. Can I just say one thing about that, please? The Vanderbilt basketball team is now paying the bad karma that Diego Pavia put on that university the entire year. That was a divine intervention that they missed that. All because of Diego Pavia.
There were only 5 lead changes in this whole game.
Yeah.
Nebraska was up almost the whole game. Their biggest lead was 10. Vanderbilt's biggest lead was 5.
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone say something about this the other day, and it kind of makes sense based on the way, like, if you look at it, the shot that Tanner took from Vanderbilt at the end of that game. First of all, Nebraska scored with 1.7 seconds left.
Yeah.
It's already hard enough to make a shot like that.
Yeah.
But the way that this ball, how do you, like, it makes zero sense how it did not go in the basket. And, like, if I showed you this picture.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
You would say that this ball went in.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I saw someone say this, and the way that this, like I said, the way that it looked, it doesn't surprise me. Apparently, obviously, we don't know this for sure. What I heard was that some of the balls at this tournament were overinflated. Not for any purpose, but even if a ball is a little overinflated like that,
it bounces.
It's going to have that ricochet that it had, and it went flying out of the basket.
Right.
Now, I don't like Vanderbilt. I'm happy they lost. But it should have been that was crazy.
Here's my thing, though, with that. And that could very well be true, but my thing is, like, they're not switching out a game ball for the final 5 seconds. So they must have been playing with that.
Yes.
But then if it's overinflated, like, okay, have you seen that Steph Curry?
Because you shot it so hard from where he was so far away that it's going to have more of an impact.
But I feel like an overinflated ball, like, if you're a basketball player, you will notice that. Like,
if you've been playing with it the whole game, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, maybe that entire set of balls was overinflated, not just that one. Then maybe it was
most of the time. There's only one or two. There's usually only one ball for a whole game. There's usually only one. Yes.
Oh, I thought there was like a group of them.
No, I'm pretty sure there's only one, maybe two.
Okay. Well, then that would make more sense. Because the thing is, if you're using one ball, then you get used to it. Which, actually, yeah, that's a good. Yeah. Has anybody else reported this in any? I
haven't. I saw it one time. It doesn't. Yeah, it wouldn't. Based on what I saw, it does not surprise me that it could be like that.
I mean, yeah, because it literally like flew off the rim.
Yeah. But with that, we have like the most basketball matchup you could possibly get.
Yeah.
The Corn Bowl, if you will. I'm honestly like a little excited for this game. It's just gonna be so weird, or not weird, but it's just be interesting to watch because neither of these teams score.
No, I know they're both very low scoring teams. And
I'll get to that because we have a new segment later where I give you my best bets of the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to that. They don't score. Neither of these teams. They don't score a lot. Nebraska's been scoring about 70 points. Iowa has 2. But earlier on in the season, Iowa was scoring 50 or 60 points.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like their football team. I saw someone the other day, I think it was on Instagram. It was like before the game, they're going to do a ceremonial punt.
Oh, I did see that.
I'm very intrigued by this game.
Wait, Christian, hold on. I'm going to be so honest. I saw that and I was like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, what? And I looked in the comments and everybody's like, yeah, they're going to punt 40 times. I was like, what are we talking about?
And so, obviously, Iowa's the 9 seed, Nebraska's the 4 seed. You would think that Nebraska is worlds better. Not worlds better, but I thought Iowa was one of the weaker 9 seeds. I thought St. Louis was better than them. I thought TCU was better than them.
I thought TCU was better.
I thought they were better than Utah State. And Utah State was good. I thought they were better than Utah State. But as a 9 seed going up against a 4 seed, who, in my eyes, I didn't think should have been a 4 seed either, but they've proved me wrong. Nebraska is only a 1.5 point favorite. That's nothing.
Wait, 1.5?
1.5.
That's kind of... Well, okay, to be fair, going off your point, like, if Iowa is a higher caliber team for a 9 seed and Nebraska is a lower caliber team for a 4 seed, it kind of does even out.
But they're in the same conference. It's not like they've never played. Like,
that's true.
Let's see if actually I'm curious now. Did they play this year? They did. They have played twice. They played twice this year.
What was the record on that?
Iowa won both.
Okay.
Wait.
Iowa won both?
Sorry. They split.
Okay.
Iowa won, by the way, it goes back to my point. Iowa won the first one 57-52. And also, this kind of goes to my point that they don't score because this game went to overtime. Nebraska won 84-75. And that was in the Big 12 tournament, I think. So, they both played each other. Like, it's not like... It's not like they haven't. They're in the same conference. I don't think that the spread should be that close. Like, for instance, Arizona versus Arkansas. I get Arizona's a 1 seed. I think they're the weakest of the... Well, obviously Florida's out, so they're not. Of the 3 remaining 1 seeds, I think Arizona is the worst of the 3. I think Michigan's better. I think Duke's better. And I think Arkansas is the best 4 seed. They should have been a higher seed.
Yeah. And
Arizona's still 7.5 point favorite.
Well, yeah, okay.
So the Nebraska spread is very weird to me.
Which I think that's going to be a testament to how the game is going to be played out, because the fact that both of these teams don't score allows the spread to be smaller because there's less of a range for
that is true.
There to be, bounce back.
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
1.5 in itself in a basketball game is crazy, but
yeah. That only really happens for like very evenly matched teams, which I don't think these are.
Yeah.
Move on. Let's go to Texas playing Purdue.
So I'm very, very excited about this because when you look at the teams that Texas have beat, and we said this before, Gonzaga was a little bit lesser of a quality for a 3 seed, and BYU wasn't. They were like a middle of the road team.
BYU, I will say they have the projected top 3 pick in the NBA draft. But they were on a they were on a skid. They were not looking great going into this tournament. And I think that might have affected them against Texas.
And you know what? That's what I really, really love about March Madness is that, and this is exactly why people like, college football, like me and you, Christian. Like the fact that these guys are not developed, they're it's just raw basketball. And that's why, like, you could have, like you just said, a projected top 3 pick in the NBA draft on BYU. That entire team could be having an off day, and that's their season right there. Like, you see the mental part a lot more in college athletics than you do in professional athletics, just because that's just how it's set up. Like the fact that Texas, going back to that Texas is an 11 seed, which in my eyes is kind of crazy.
No, they went
so low.
They went 18 and 14. They were 10th in the SEC. That makes.
But that's such a hard. I guess with brag.
They went 9 and 9 in the conference. They were the worst SEC team to make the tournament. 10 teams made the tournament from the SEC.
But again, when you play hard teams all season, and then you get to teams like BYU and Gonzaga, it's gonna feel a little different, and that's why.
They honestly didn't play. Okay, the SEC is hard. I will give them that. Mm-hmm. They lost to UConn. They lost to Virginia. They played hard teams early on, but then they played some teams in the SEC that didn't make the tournament, and they lost, like Auburn or Ole Miss, Oklahoma. But I don't know. I think an 11 seed was reasonable. They had to play a play-in game. It's not like.
Well, yeah, it's not like they got it automatically, yeah.
But, and also, there's no shot an SEC team is going to be lower than an 11 seed.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a 13 seed SEC team because the conference is so good that there's no reason to put them there.
Right.
So I think this was the lowest Texas could have gotten. But
like that also shows a testament to the quality, because they're in the Sweet 16. I don't think anybody had them going to the Sweet 16. Like, this is a true Cinderella run. Iowa and them are true Cinderella runs. And the fact that they're playing Purdue, as you said earlier, that is going to be their toughest.
I was going to say, I think Purdue is the real test. If they are able to beat Purdue, I will call it a Cinderella run.
Yeah.
For now, because of the quality of teams that they've played, obviously it is based on seeding, but it's not a Cinderella run to the lengths of VCU coming out of the first 4 and going to the Final Four, or Loyola Chicago just yet. Because both of those teams came out of the A10, a conference that generally only has one. This year they had 2 people or teams in the tournament. This year they had St. Louis and VCU. Because St. Louis was one of the best teams in the country, they had to be in that tournament, even though they didn't win the conference.
Right. And
went to VCU.
Purdue looks just incredible. Like,
Purdue has looked incredible as of late. I love Purdue. I have them in my Final Four. Yeah. I think in my main bracket I have them in the national championship. I'm gonna double check that, but I'm pretty sure I have them in the Natty in my main bracket that I did.
Like, they dropped 104 on Queens. Granted, Queens wasn't that good, but still dropping 104 points in a
they beat Michigan.
NCAA game.
They beat Michigan in the... Yes, I do have Purdue going to the championship. They beat Michigan in the Big Ten championship. They're a good team.
Which, maybe you can...
And they handled Michigan. They won by 8.
If Purdue beats Michigan in the Big Ten championship, why is Purdue the 2 seed and Michigan is the 1 seed?
Because Michigan had a better season.
Oh, just overall? Okay.
Yeah. Michigan had, I think, 3 losses. Purdue had 8.
Oh, okay. All right.
Michigan was the better team.
Yeah.
Like, that's why St. Louis was higher than VCU. Because VCU won the conference tournament. St. Louis wasn't even in the conference championship.
Right.
But they only had 4 losses the whole year.
Right.
So they were going to be higher than VCU.
Right. And if Texas can beat Purdue, which I think is going to be a very
hard the spread
test.
In that is lower than the spread in the Arizona game. The Arizona Arkansas 7.5, Purdue Texas is 6.5. I think Purdue's going to kill them personally.
So do I. But if I think Texas can pull off a major upset, I think they're going to the championship. That's my bold prediction.
I do not think so.
If Texas can beat one of the best teams in the country, that will propel their morale and their play style to the chip. Maybe not to the chip. I would say Final Four.
Then they're gonna have to run into Michigan again.
Yeah. If Purdue beat Michigan, I mean, going off that logic,
that's not how that works necessarily.
No, I know.
But if Michigan somehow gets eliminated by Alabama, I'll say Texas can have a shot. But as of right now, I don't think so. Actually, they're not in the same conference. I think Purdue's in the Arizona conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Arizona or Arkansas would beat Texas, no matter who they would end up playing.
Yeah.
But
I want to see a true Cinderella run, though. I really do.
Yeah, but then once you get late into a Cinderella run,
they fizzle out.
Yeah, no team. I think the lowest seed to ever win a national championship is an 8 seed. And it was, I think, Villanova back in the 80s, I'm pretty sure. Maybe UConn did it recently as well. And also, 19 of the last 20 champions have either been a number 1 seed or from the Big East Conference.
Really? I didn't know that.
There are 2 Big East teams left and 3 number 1 seeds left. So by that logic, one of those 5 teams is winning the national championship.
Yeah.
It's Duke, Michigan, Arizona, UConn, and St. John's.
I think Michigan. I think
St. John's. No, I think Duke
really?
Still. No, I still think Duke. I mean, I'm going to root for St. John's.
I don't know about Duke. I don't know.
They're who I originally picked, so I'm not going to switch up on it.
I hope St. John's, but
obviously I hope St. John's beats Duke.
Well, moving on. You just want to talk about that St. John Kansas game? Like sure. My uncle was texting me. He was like, "Holy shit, are you watching this game right now?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, this is." I would say that is the game of the tournament so far. So far, that is the game of the tournament. Like that is the fact that Dylan Darling had no points up into that game winner layup. The fact that he had never done that in his collegiate career. The fact that I'll read you his stats. He 18 minutes, 20% from field goal, 1 rebound, 4 assists.
Okay, so if he was 20%, he only took 5 shots, 4 shots before that game winner.
Yeah. But that's still he took 5 shots, and he only got 2 points, and that 2 points was the game winner. Is that not ridiculous?
He asked for that. Did you see the postgame press conference with Rick Pitino?
Yeah, I did.
That was a great press conference. Rick Pitino.
I love Rick Pitino.
I like Rick Pitino. I think he's a great coach.
Hold on. Before we continue, I don't think this is Rick Pitino's doing. I think this is all because of Bob Walsh. Shout out Bob Walsh. Bob Walsh is the mastermind behind this team.
Shout out Bob Walsh.
Shout out Bob, my goat. Anyway.
But St. John's is a very sloppy basketball team. They had a lead for almost the entire game. Kansas' biggest lead was 3 points. And it was at 2 minutes into the game. Yeah. St. John's was up 14 with 8 minutes left. They should not have even lost this lead.
Yeah.
Between the 8-minute mark and the 2-minute mark of the second half, when there's 8 minutes left to when there was 2 minutes left, Kansas was on a 19-6 run.
That's crazy.
That should never have happened. Never. It should not have even been tied.
Yeah.
But Rick Pitino, they were in the huddle. Dylan Darling wanted this play, and it worked. And after the game, one of the reporters asked Dylan Darling, he's like, "Is this the first buzzer beater that you've ever hit?"
Oh, yes.
And Dylan Darling goes, "In college, yeah." And Rick Pitino quick snaps and he goes, "Whoa, you're in the NBA?"
I love Rick Pitino. he works out like 2 times a day.
Yeah.
At 70 years old.
St. John's, they did not shoot well in this game. They only shot 36%. They were taking so many shots. At one point I saw, so at the end of the game, they had taken 15 more shots than Kansas and only made one of them.
That's crazy.
They shot more threes than they ever have before.
Mm-hmm.
Since they shot 21 3-pointers in the first half. That's the most ever since Rick Pitino became the head coach of St. John's.
Yeah.
They took more 3-pointers in the first half than Kansas took in the whole game, and it was by 7. Kansas took 14 threes. And they had Zubi Ejiofor taking threes when he never does that. He went 0 for 4. There was no reason for that to happen. Now, he had a good game. He went 18, 9, and 4. Not his best game. I believe he played better against Northern Iowa, but it was Northern Iowa. He had 14, 11, and 2. So, he had more rebounds, less points. Bryce Hopkins had a great game. He had 6 threes. He was a huge part in the St. John's win. But it was close. It was scary. And listen, I'm rooting for them to beat Duke. But St. John's either plays the sloppiest game of basketball you've ever seen, or they dominate UConn. That's what they do.
The thing that I will say is, Rick Pitino, after watching that game, is now going to from Sunday to Thursday. He's going to be Friday. He's going to be watching his defense in specific like a hawk.
You would hope.
I think
they're one of the best defensive teams. I believe they have the 3rd ranked defense in the country.
Yeah, and I think that in 5 days we will see a real change in that sloppiness. I think, because Rick Pitino is not the type of coach that's like, all right, guys, we did this and we did that. No, he's the type of guy, we see mistakes, we're fixing them now. And that's what you need if you're going to go on a run. That's what you need.
Yeah. Let me just briefly talk about my boys, Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah.
Going into this tournament, I did not think we were very good, honestly. We weren't great this year. Last year we were a 2 seed, so compared to that, we weren't great. But as I believe the reigning defending SEC champions, we did not win again this year. We lost to, I think, Vanderbilt. Yeah, we lost to Vanderbilt. People thought Miami, Ohio were going to beat us. Beat them by 22. My guy, Jacoby Gillespie, 29 points, 6 threes, 9 assists in that game. Listen, he's taken over because Nate Ament, who's another one of our best players, has not been very relevant in this tournament. He had 16 points against UVA, but he had 0 against Miami, Ohio. Jacoby Gillespie took that game, put the team on his back, and JP Estrella did have a double-double, his 5th double-double of the season in that game. So he helped out a little bit too. But we took down Virginia, and now we go on to play, in my opinion, the weakest 2 seed in the tournament in Iowa State. I think we have a real chance at beating them. The spread is 4.5. I'm definitely going to take Tennessee plus 4.5.
Yeah.
A little sneak peek into my segment in a little bit. But I love what we're doing right now. I'm impressed at how good we look. That being said, we've never made a Final Four, so I'm not getting my hopes up. But it would be nice to see either or, Tennessee or St. John's. I'll be happy.
Yeah. Which could be possible. You never know.
So we did kind of cover this, Nick. Yeah. What's your big upset for this next round, the Sweet 16?
So this is gonna be hard because do I think Texas is gonna beat Purdue? No, I don't. Do I? Like, what are we saying? Like upset? Like what qualifies an upset? Like
the underdog.
How much? No. But okay. In Michigan State versus UConn, Michigan State's the 3 and UConn's the 2. If Michigan State wins, I'm not qualifying that as an upset. Like that's not like.
Okay, let me go first then. Yeah. I'm taking Arkansas over Arizona. Now, a lot of people think that that is going to happen. A lot of people are very high on Arkansas. But when you see this point spread at 7.5, that's considered a major upset.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Arkansas. I think Arkansas has a chance to make it to the Final Four if they can get past Purdue. Which
it's either that. It's either that. I'm not going to lie, or
Iowa. Iowa's the other one.
Iowa, or I'm going back to St. John's. I'm going.
Oh, I didn't even think of St. John's.
I'm going back to St. John's. Listen.
I was trying not to be biased, but St. John's.
I am biased.
Like, that's why I didn't say St. John's and I didn't say Tennessee. I'm rooting for either of those two to happen before the Arkansas.
No, and like okay, so can I give you two? I think it'll be St. John's or I really do think that honestly, going back to your Tennessee, I think Tennessee could beat Iowa State. So I know we just spoke about this, but those are my two.
Yeah,
those are my two.
Yeah, I just can't see Alabama beating Michigan, especially without their second best player.
Yeah.
Who?
What did he?
He got caught with a lot of weed and got arrested, like a lot.
Wait, wasn't that before the tournament or like?
Yeah.
I
thought they were gonna
Wait, I saw the like the photo of the cop car. They needed 2 cop cars.
They've been playing well, I will say. They've in their last 5 games. Well, obviously they had him for 3 of those 5 games, but 88, 96, 79, and then without him, 90 and 90.
I mean, so they're in the Sweet 16. It's not like.
Yeah, but then they run into the powerhouse,
Michigan.
the Big Blue,
Michigan. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Who do you have? Who did you have before the tournament started? Who did you have?
Before? Okay, so before the tournament started, I had Florida. I really thought that they were going to do a back-to-back.
So I'll go first.
Obviously, now that can't happen.
My answer isn't going to change. I still think Duke's going to win. I don't want them to. I want St. John. Yes, I'm sticking with my answer. I'm not switching up. I had Duke to win in my actual bracket. I'm not switching up.
All right. I disagree with that. But listen, Duke will be Duke. Like in the past 15 years, they have been the definition of like underwhelming. And they
still have 2 national championships in that time span.
They do. But if you look at like what people were, they should have like 6. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess.
Well, okay. So my new answer, I gotta stand up for this.
Oh God,
I gotta stand up because guess what? St. John's are winning the 2026 national championship. Give it up. Give it up for St. John's. They already won. They heard Nick Prince's just made that prediction, so they're gonna try to go all out. St. John's will be winning the 2026.
I'm fine with that. I will gladly take that.
Dude, if St. John's wins, do you imagine the streets of New York?
I'll be there.
I will be there too.
I
think I'm going to be home during break during the chip. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. I think.
Yippee!
So. My bets for the weekend.
Oh,
We've been giving you 3.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Christian. We need a silly name for the segment. What's gonna be the name?
Beyond the Bets.
Oh!
So for this week's Beyond the Bet segment,
I like that.
We have 8 games for this Thursday Friday slate.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 3 of my locks for the week.
Okay.
Now, before I do that, I have to make sure I have all of my odds correct. So, as I open DraftKings, I have to preface this with saying we do not condone betting here at Beyond the Bench. But if you so happen to do it, do this. So, like I said, I was going to do this. Iowa, Nebraska. Oh, honestly, I might take... They set a good line. Vegas set a great line at 132.5 for this over-under in this Iowa-Nebraska game. And based on what they've been doing in this tournament, I said I was going to take the under. I'm going to take the over. They've both been scoring 70 points a game, and I think that's just enough to put this over the edge at 132.5. So we're going to take the over there at minus 112 for Iowa, Nebraska. And as we move to Tennessee versus Iowa State, might be a little biased coming out here. Actually, screw that. We're taking Arkansas plus 7.5 against Arizona.
Damn,
at minus 105, by the way. Plus 7.5. I think Arkansas is going to win this game. And even if they don't, I don't think they're going to get blown out. So them losing by less than 8 is a realistic possibility. And if you're getting this minus 105, these minus 105 odds, that's good. I'd take that. So yeah, Arkansas plus 7.5. We're going to take that. Give me the Johnnies plus 6. No, I can't do that. Duke's too good. Duke's too good.
No, do the Johnnies.
No,
Support me and do the Johnnies.
Duke is too good. What game is missing? There's only 7 games, unless I'm stupid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, what am I missing? Is Purdue not here? No, Purdue's there. What the heck? What? Houston? No, Houston's there. UConn. There's no UConn, Michigan State. I wasn't going to bet on that game anyway. Okay, cool. I like over 138.5.
I can hear you thinking.
Over 138.5 in the Tennessee game. So, with that, that's 3 legs. We have Iowa, Nebraska. Let me write this down.
Got to make sure it's all checked out.
Yep, Iowa, Nebraska. We have over 132.5.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas plus 7.5. And Tennessee, Iowa State over 138.5 points. So with that, we're going to say over 138. And the odds on that, as of recording right now, 126 on Tuesday afternoon. The odds on that are going to be plus 611, which means $10 will get you $71.17. So throw some.
Is that a lock? Is that a lock, Christian?
That's the Beyond the Bet lock of the week.
Okay. All right. You heard it here.
So with that is the end of the basketball portion of this.
This is.
And last week, 2 weeks ago, because last week we weren't together, 2 weeks ago we started this new segment called Montano's Munchies, where Nick tries to guess what I had for either lunch today or dinner the night before. And for those of you that are new,
depending on how crazy the meals are, we'll pick.
For those of you that are new, I'll explain the rules one more time. Nick gets 3 guesses to guess what I had.
Wait, what? I thought it was 1.
Oh. Was it only one? Did I only give you 1 guess last week?
It was only 1 last week.
Then you only get 1 guess. You only get 1 guess. You only get one guess.
Let me get 3.
No. You get 1 guess, but you get to ask 1 yes or no question to me.
Okay. All right. Wait, can I get 2 guesses?
Fine.
Split the
2 guesses, 1 yes or no question. And we will be doing last night's dinner.
Okay.
Go ahead. See what you got for me.
Is it home cooked?
No.
Oh.
I was not home last night. Think about it. You know where I was.
Oh, I know where you were. Okay. All right.
I was at a Rangers game.
Ooh. So what at MSG?
But did I get food at MSG? Actually, I'll tell you this.
Okay. All right.
Because this might influence your decision. I was not with my parents. So I had to pay for my own food, is what I'm saying.
Wait, you didn't go to the Rangers game with your parents?
No, I went with Rico, Charlie, and Rico's friend.
Oh. All right, so you definitely did not go eat at MSG. Fast food?
You only got 1 yes or no question, and I already gave you more than I should have.
Oh, wait, sorry. Shit. Oh, God, this is going to come down. All right, so what's near MSG? What is near Madison Square Garden for food?
You don't know what's near MSG.
I've only been to MSG once. Let me think.
And it was with me, and we didn't get... No, you've been there twice. We saw Creed.
Oh, right. We didn't get food there, right?
No.
All right, this is gonna be a fried chicken sandwich.
No. That is something I would eat, but no.
What was it?
You have one more guess. You only guess once.
Oh, right, I do. I'm forgetting the rules. That's enough. What else do you eat? Like 3 things.
It's one of the 3 things that I eat. It is one of the 3 things that you know I eat.
Chicken tenders and fries.
No, come on, man. It was pizza. I had pizza.
Oh, well, where'd you go? Shout out the place that you went to.
I believe it's called 4-Boy Pizza or something. 4-Bro. I don't know. It's literally right across the street from. No, I mean it's probably on par with Domino's. It's a little better than Domino's.
Wait, was it a chain or was it an actual like pizza place?
No, I think it's called 4-Boy Pizza. No, it's an actual pizza place in the city.
And it just sucked that bad.
No, it's because it's you're not going to get a $1 slice.
Oh, it's a $1 slice. Okay.
Well, it's $1.50. You get 2 slices and a can of soda for $4. I wasn't passing that up. I've done it multiple times. I've had this. It's not bad. I've gone back to this place, so it's not that bad.
Okay. All right.
And the pizza was good. Pizza wasn't bad.
Okay.
I'd say on par.
I mean,
with
for
Domino's.
$4, I'm paying.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with $4.
No,
so yeah, that's what I had for dinner. I had 2 slices of pizza and a can of Dr. Brown's cherry soda.
Dr. Brown. Wait, what?
You don't know Dr. Brown's?
I don't. So we have Mr. Pibb, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Brown.
No,
can we get a
Dr.
meeting
Brown,
of the big 3?
Dr. Brown is like we used to have Dr. Brown when we were at Peter's all the time. That's like the thing that Peter drinks. Yes, they have cherry soda.
Dude, I've never heard of it.
Trust. I'll text Peter right now. He'll probably answer after we record.
Wait, now I need to Google. What was Dr. Brown cherry soda? Dude, I've never seen. I have never seen this can before.
Really?
I've never seen this can before.
Wow. Okay. We used to have that at Peter's a lot.
Okay. Well, never seen it. So moving on, as we do every week, I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that the draft guide will be featuring. And Christian and I always run into this problem, right? When we're rostering teams for the week, we always try to figure out like how a wide receiver will perform based on defense. But that's kind of hard to do because defenses are they change a lot during the season. And I thought it would be very, very helpful for everybody, listening and buying the draft guide to look at. For each week, we'll update every major wide receiver, and we'll give you the coverage, and then we'll get the defensive coverage, and we will basically rank it on a scale to 1 to 5. If this receiver, based on the defensive coverage that the defense normally plays against a slot wide receiver or a deep threat, that type of thing, how they will perform. Because when you look at let's take Lad McConkey last season. He didn't do well. And why is that? Probably it's because Justin Herbert was getting blitzed almost every single play and could not throw the ball. But also another reason is because defenses may have adjusted to his slot playing style. And if we go into that further, we can see that if we can pick out what coverage and what wide receiver plays, then we can be much more accurate in our predictions to how a wide receiver will perform on any given week against any given defense. So that's really what we want to provide for everybody. With that, this has been Beyond the Bench basketball episode. I don't know. March Madness episode, as one would say.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for listening. Any last thoughts, Christian?
Go Johnnies.
Go Johnnies. That's a good last thought. And go Volunteers.
Yeah, go Vols too. I'll take that.
Go Vols. Go Vols. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and we will see you next week. Thank you.